Okay, so welcome everyone to your evening meditation. So just going somewhere where you're not going to be disturbed for the next half an hour or so. Putting everything else aside, put your phone on mute or silent. Sitting in your favorite meditation posture. So that might be half lotus or lotus if you quite a regular meditator. It might be just sitting on a chair, in which case put your feet shoulder width apart, cup your hands in your lap. The main thing is keep your back straight. So important to keep the back straight because we're breathing and we're trying to raise this life energy, or kundalini energy as it's called in the yogic tradition, up the spine. And if you have a slouch, bend in your back, that stops that process from happening. The reason we raise it all up is because when the life energy, the kundalini energy, gets to the head, then you can get some pretty amazing experiences. It's called samadhi in the yogic tradition, where you just get it. That's the enlightened state. And moving the energy up the spine really helps that. So having said that, just make yourself comfortable. Whatever posture you're in, make sure your back's straight, close your eyes, and start off by taking a nice deep breath in through the nose. So breathing in through the nose, just noticing how the stomach rises, chest rises, just feeling the energy rising up from the lower stomach. Just clench the sphincter muscle. That's the muscle used to contract the flow of urine. And that creates a lock in your root chakra, and it also creates a pumping action up the spine. So on the one hand, you're pumping the energy up the spine. On the other, you're drawing it up with your breath. Feel it rising into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart. Just feel that nice, warm, comforting sensation in your heart, bringing your mind completely into present moment awareness by focusing all the attention on the breath and these subtle sensations of the body surrounding the breath. Take another sip of air in, so feel this life energy drawing up the spine into your upper back, and then up through the neck into the crown. The final sip of air. Just pause at the top of the inhale and just scan your mind. So just noticing any thoughts, any emotions going on there. Today's lesson is all about how you see your brothers. So particularly anything related to anyone else, any person or people. Maybe you have some kind of issue, a grievance, a little bit of anger, irritation, frustration, resentment. In the end, it's all the same thing. It all seems to justify a perception that your brother is sinful and guilty. Today's lesson is the opposite. You choose to see the opposite. You choose to see your brother's sinlessness. So just notice any of those grievances, resentments, little bits of anger, irritation, frustration, annoyance. Notice how that feels mentally, emotionally, and physically, because there's always a physical component, maybe a knot in your stomach, a block in your chest, clenched jaw, tight fists, maybe just a sort of seething feeling inside of you. Anger feels very hot. So notice any of these cues. And now you're just going to choose to let it all go. Just letting go of the thoughts and the emotions. That's all forgiveness is. So you exhale, blow it all out with your breath. Imagine that this resentment, grievance, anger is leaving you like a dark reddish or black smoke, whichever comes to mind. Just blowing it all out through your breath. Just let it go into the nothingness that it always was and still is. Pull the lower stomach into the spine so you're completely empty of air. and also of negativity. You just cleared your mind. Just notice the stillness and the peace that arises in the base of your mind. Smile for no other reason than that you're here. Now you're present, you're alive, you're aware. And there's an underlying peace, maybe a happiness, joy. Just notice whatever you're feeling and smile. And now breathe in again. So just breathing in, notice the stomach rise, the chest rise, subtle clenching of the sphincter muscle, driving the energy up the spine. Draw it up with your breath to your heart center. Feel a nice warm tingling sensation there, and draw it all the way up into the crown of your head. Pause at the top of the inhale. Smile again. And then exhale. Just sigh it all out. Sighing it all out. So the air flows out of the nostrils. Chest and the stomach suck back in. Energy subsides back down from the crown of your head, running down the front channel of your body into your heart center, coming to rest in the stomach, in your groin. Letting the energy rest there and find the peace and the stillness again. Smile. And then repeat the cycle, breathing in again, drawing the energy up like a wave of energy flowing all the way up. Pause, smile, and then exhale. Let the wave subside back down. Just watching the breath, so just step back, watch all the subtle sensations of the breath, the stomach rise, the chest rise, the air flow into the nostrils. Energy rising up the spine, the clenching of your sphincter muscle. As you do that, it's a very warm, tingling thread of energy running up the spine. Feel that. Feel the energy in your head. Smile. And the whole process reverses. It all subsides back down like a wave breaking back into the ocean. You sigh it all out, make the ujjayi sound in the back of your throat. So you're fogging sunglasses, but you keep your mouth closed. Chest, stomach subside back down. The energy subsides back down into the base of your stomach, your groin. And then it recycles and the process starts again. You breathe in again. Just become very aware of your breath. That brings your mind completely into the present moment, which is one of the goals of meditation. In the present moment, you're aware, you're clear, you're accessing a part of your mind that is often unavailable because your mind is so busy thinking. All kinds of distracting thoughts, and then you're feeling emotions related to them that there's no awareness, it's just all covered over, constant stream of thinking. So as you keep watching your breath to keep yourself in this nice, clear, calm, empty, open, aware space, just listen to these words I'm going to share with you. So to start with, I'm going to read a preliminary section to this series of workbook lessons we're busy with at the moment, and that's in answer to the question, what is the ego? So listen energetically, not intellectually. Just listen in a way that's going to allow the energy, the frequency that these words carry to come into your mind, into your awareness, into your heart. Maybe it helps you to think of listening more with your heart than with your mind. So keep one hand on your heart to just anchor you into this heart space. And just keep breathing these nice, deep, slow, diaphragmatic breaths. You feel the energy rising and subsiding. And you should feel a nice, warm, tingling sensation in your heart as you do that. I'll remind you every so often to keep watching your breath and to make sure you're not listening with your intellectual mind. So it's not about trying to judge these ideas, evaluate them, analyze them, criticize them, compare them, contrast them, resist them in any way. You just allow the words in, allow yourself to absorb the energy that they transmit. It helps you can imagine that the words are like pebbles just dropping into a very still, calm lake on a windless day. And because your mind is so still, the ripple effects are going to be noticeable. You're going to ripple all the way into the depths of your subconscious mind, which is where they needed to undo this default thought system of the ego, which is what Jesus is going to tell us more about in this short section on what is the ego. So he says the ego is idolatry, the sign of limited and separated self, little self, born in a body, doomed to suffer and to end its life in death. It is the, quote, will that sees the will of God, or the will of love. If you prefer, you can always substitute the word God with the word love, and I'll do that for you. So it's the will that sees the will of God as enemy and takes a form in which it is denied. The ego is the proof that, again, quote, proof that strength is weak and love is fearful. Life is really death, and what opposes God alone is true. What opposes love alone is true. So this is quite an intense little passage in some ways. Jesus isn't holding any punches. He's telling us exactly what the ego is, what it does, what its consequences are. So just breathe your way through it. Keep watching your breath, staying nice and still, calm, empty, open, but aware. And if you notice any negative thoughts and emotions arising in response to the words, just allow them to arise, and then notice if you keep watching your breath that they tend to dissipate, they tend to subside. So this is one of the ways of just letting go. Just allow, and you just watch your breath, and you allow these things, the charge, the energy behind whatever that negativity is, to just dissipate as you keep watching your breath. So let's continue with the passage. The ego is insane. In fear, it stands beyond the everywhere, apart from all and separation from the infinite. In its insanity, it thinks it has become a victor over God or love itself, God himself or love itself. And in its terrible autonomy, it, quote, sees the will of God has been destroyed, the will of love has been destroyed. So the ego is just the belief that we can destroy love. Because of this, it dreams of punishment for this terrible crime and trembles at the figures in its dream, its enemies who seek to murder it, before it can ensure its safety by attacking them. So again, just pause, notice any reactions, work with those, just breathe through them. Keep watching your breath, staying nice and still, calm, empty, open, and aware. As you listen, and fortunately, Jesus never leaves us in a dark place. Just takes us there briefly, shows us the horror show that is the ego, and then gives us an alternative immediately. So the Son of God, an extension of love, which is you, which is all of us, is really egoless. What can he know of madness and the death of God, the death of love itself, when he abides in him? What can he know of sorrow and of suffering, when he lives in eternal joy? What can he know of fear and punishment, of sin and guilt, of hatred and attack, when all there is surrounding him is everlasting peace, forever conflict-free, and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility. So just pause again, watch your breath. Get a sense of this everlasting peace, forever conflict-free and undisturbed in deepest silence and tranquility. Just letting your breath and the music just take you there, to this deeper place in your mind. Don't be afraid, just allow yourself to go there. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Who would be afraid of deepest silence and tranquility? A place where attack, anger, fear, hatred, sickness, suffering, and death simply do not exist. And so to know reality is not to see the ego and its thoughts, its works, its acts, its laws and its beliefs, its dreams, its hopes, its plans for its salvation, and the cost belief in it entails. In suffering, the price for faith in it is so immense that crucifixion of the Son of God, the extension of love itself, is offered daily at its darkened shrine, and blood must flow before the altar where its sickly followers prepare to die. Again, Jesus isn't going to leave us in this dark place. He says, yet will one lily of forgiveness change the darkness into light, the altar to illusions, to the shrine of life itself. And peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which God created as His Son, His dwelling place, His joy, His love, completely His, completely one with Him. Again, you can substitute the word God with the word love. So, and peace will be restored forever to the holy minds which love created as its extension, its dwelling place, its joy, its love, completely its home, completely one with it. That sentence means exactly the same thing. So just pause here, watch the breath again, smile, because this passage is pointing us to this place of complete salvation, where we are restored to oneness with God and with all our brothers. An eternal oneness that is unaffected by the ego. The ego is simply a delusion. It is unreal. It's a smokescreen that just clouds our awareness, stops us from seeing who we truly are and experiencing the joy of the peace and the love that are our true inheritance. So let's move on to lesson 335 of the workbook today. Take a nice deep breath in, preparation. So just imagine you breathing not just air, but light, a beautiful golden or white light into stomach, into your heart center, so flowing into those energy centers. Stomach is your third chakra or energy center, heart center, cavity between your breastbones. Put one hand there over your heart, feel a nice warm tingling sensation. Feel this light drawing up the spine. As you breathe in, you draw it up, squeeze the sphincter muscle to pump it up. A column of golden or white light flowing up your spine to the upper chest and the head. Crown of the head, just pause at the top of the inhale. Smile. Top of the inhale, just notice peace and the stillness and the light. Just imagine your entire body, every cell, every muscle is infused with this beautiful golden or white light into this nice, clear, calm, empty, open, light state. Drop today's lesson. So I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. My brother is anyone that's male or female, any person. It's just the course's terminology for a person, a brother, which is beautiful because it means that you're connected to them. It's like if you have a brother or a sister, your family, there's a connection. It's saying you're connected to everyone because you have a common father, common source. So just exhale. And imagine you just dropping any grievances towards a person or people. Just letting them all go. Thoughts, the emotions, the physical sensations. Just letting them all go with the help of the breath to nothing as they truly are. Pull the lower stomach sharply into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. So you're just in the light, you're free floating. So you hold your breath briefly. Just free floating in the light. Say, I choose to see my brother's sinlessness. Breathing in again. Through the nose, imagine you breathing this beautiful golden or white light. Energy into your stomach. Blowing your stomach up like a light-filled balloon. Squeeze the sphincter muscle. Contracts the flow of urine. You shoot this light up the spine into your heart center. Feel a nice warm tingling sensation in your heart. It's flowing into your upper back, all the way up into the crown of your head. Just pause at the top of the inhale, smile. And just let these words drop into this empty, open, spacious awareness. Listen in the same way as you listened to the previous section on what is the ego. Experientially, energetically, absorb the energy, feel the emotions, rather than intellectually. So Jesus says forgiveness is a choice. And say to yourself after me as I say these words, I never see my brother as he is, for that is far beyond perception. What I see in him is merely what I wish to see, because it stands for what I want to be the truth. It is to this alone that I respond, however much I seem to be impelled by outside happenings. I choose to see what I would look upon, and this I see, and only this. My brother's sinlessness shows me that I would look upon my own, and I will see it, having chosen to behold my brother in its holy light. So as you exhale now, I just want you to make that choice for sinlessness, for innocence. And as you exhale, just letting go of any remaining scraps of anger, resentment, frustration, even a minor irritation or annoyance. It's really just a sign that you're holding your brother's sins against him, and that you choose to continue seeing this, because it doesn't really matter what he's done or hasn't done. What matters is how you perceive it. And so even if he's apparently done something wrong, something bad, you can still choose to overlook it, recognizing it's simply not true, and choosing to behold your brother in the holy light of forgiveness. So just rest, pull the lower stomach into the spine, expel the last remaining air out. Rest in the peace and the stillness of this holy light. For a few moments, smile. And now I'll just say this prayer. Invite this holy light, this presence of love in. As you breathe in, imagine you drawing it into every pore, every cell, every muscle of your body. It's flowing into your stomach, your heart center, your third eye between your eyebrows, the crown of your head. So these are 4 major energy centers or chakras in the body. Just drawing it in, filling yourself up with the light. Say to yourself, what could restore your memory to me? You're addressing your most innermost self, higher self, if you want to call it that, your inner being, God, source, creator. Just use whatever term works for you. No term at all, just speaking to who you really are. So what could restore your memory to me except to see my brother's sinlessness? His holiness reminds me that he was created one with me, and like myself. In him I find my capital self, and in your Son, your extension, I find the memory of you as well. And so as you exhale, just extend this light, this beautiful radiant golden white light, and the loving presence, the loving feeling in your heart, just extending it out. Imagine you blessing everyone you know, this particular person or people whom you had some kind of resentment or grievance towards. And then don't stop there, extend it to all of your friends, your family, acquaintances. Smile at the happy feeling that this stimulates in you. So this is why it's true. Giving and receiving are one in truth, because as you give the light, so you receive it. You feel happier when you do an exercise like this and just give. You don't have to do anything physically, it's all happening on a mind level. So just extending that light out to every living creature, every human being, every living creature on the planet. Now as you keep watching your breath, just breathing in and in the light, imagine it's flowing into every pore, every cell and every muscle of your body, to every corner of your mind. Pause, just feel the light growing in intensity and brightness in the gap between breaths, and then as you exhale, imagine extending it out to all the world. There's no limit to this light. Maybe you start to experientially realize that the light is everywhere. There's nowhere the light is not. So it's not really like you're giving the light, someone else is receiving it. It's more just becoming aware of this all-encompassing light that's already there. So just breathing in the light, exhaling the light, sinking into the light. Let the light encompass you, envelop you, enfold you, overwhelm you. For the next 2 minutes of silence, there's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do. Just breathe, relax, watch your breath, surrender into the light for the next 2 minutes of silence. And so just gently, on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. You're going to come back to an awareness of the body senses, the breath. Just listen to me guide you through this process for a couple of minutes. So breathing in, notice how the stomach rises, the chest rises. Feel the energy rising up the spine, nice golden or white light energy flowing up the spine into your stomach, into your heart center. Notice the clenching of your sphincter muscle, drawing the energy all the way up into the crown of your spine. Feel a nice warm tingling thread flowing up your spine. Just pause at the top of the inhale, smile. Just feeling the connection with this love and this light. It hasn't gone away, it's still very much there, even though you're becoming aware again of your senses. It's teaching you to stay connected to it even while you're operating in the domain of the world, the sensory world. So exhale, just sigh it all out, make a sighing sound in the back of your throat, keeping your mouth closed, so you're fogging sunglasses, but the mouth closed, the air flows out of the nostrils, feel the life energy you've raised up into the crown, subsiding back the front channel of down the front channel of your body, down to your heart center, into your stomach, lower stomach, your groin. It's coming to rest there in the stillness and the peace. Smile. Connecting deeply with the peace and the stillness. So that's 1. 2, just noticing the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. As you breathe in again, notice the energy rising up the spine, the stomach and chest pushing out. Notice any smell in your nose. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth. Notice that. And notice what you're hearing. Any sounds, whatever they happen to be, just give them some attention. Might be a subtle sound like the ticking of a clock, whirring of a computer fan, traffic in the distance, voices, whatever's going on. Just allow the sounds to arise and then they subside. And so what you're starting to pay attention to is the underlying stillness, ground of being it's been called, out of which all these things arise. Without judging them, without naming them, labeling them. You don't have to have all this mental commentary. Training your mind in non-judgmental or forgiving perception so that you live in a way that applies these ideas, just moment by moment, just through how you perceive. That is what we're aiming to achieve. That's mastery. So 3, just open your eyes, look around. Apply the same non-judgmental principle to whatever you see. So just letting your eyes rest on random objects for a second or 2 and then move on. But don't name them, label them, judge them, think about them in any way. Just allow them to be. So again, you're training your mind with the most dominant sense, the visual sense. That actually the differences, your sense perceptions, none of that really matters. What matters is the deeper underlying peace and stillness that you feel, connection. So I hope tonight's meditation has helped you connect pretty deeply with this stillness. I hope it will help you to see your brothers in a different light, to forgive whenever you need to forgive, and find the light and love yourself. So I wish you good practicing and a very peaceful and flowing evening ahead. To help you to stay there, you can listen to the shorter recording I sent you if you're in the Art of Letting Go community. sent you about a 6 to 7 minute recording to top you up and listen to it in response to anything that tempts you to get upset, especially towards another person. If you find any kind of irritation or anger or grievance arising, use it in immediate response to that. And do join me tomorrow for another meditation at 12:30 UK time, 1:30 SA time, and again at 6:30 PM UK, 7:30 PM SA time in the Zoom room. We'll have another longer, deeper dive into tomorrow's lesson. So thanks again for listening. Wishing you much love and peace. Namaste, which means love and peace and joy in me honors and acknowledges the love, peace, and joy in you.